Hi, this is Mr. Grandduchess Rasmaskoonen, 3706 Manor Road, Apartment 2 on this 8:51 p.m. on this very day of June. What is today's day? This is the 22nd, 23rd. Quite forgot. But you know what? Let me see what my calendar says. It's always nice to know dates and times and so forth as it is documented. Wednesday the 18th of June 2014. What a hot day. Not as oppressive as it used to be, but quite hot in its whatever dew humidity, whatever you want to call it. I am not one of those weather girls. I'm a weather girl if I'm catching a man, darling. Flowers and feathers, and that's it. Anyway, I'm going to ride on a little thing from the 60s. We're no longer in the 60s anywhere. Remember, we're in the 21st centuries, and black people, we have to step up. Slavery is not going to keep us back now. We have intelligence, we have knowledge and wisdom and so forth. You let Barack Obama and Colin Powell and the rest of them be the last of the house niggers. Because now, be ready, young people, to move in a new path, new ideology, and a new direction. No longer do you have to suffer their path, or you have to take what is said in order to feel or to be the person, that libertarian of freedom we call the Statue of Liberty. As I said, I am not a patriot of the army. I am not. But I am a patriot of the Constitution. And so if you find yourself that, you will see the bottom line of my commentary today. As I said, happy independence to the Iraqis. Anybody would be a fool to go and join and to help them. Let them figure out their own problems. And when they have taken over their country, let's work with them. That's their own thing. I went on the back of Kennedy today. Ask not. Ask not. Ask not. It will not be given. Do as it was written, as it was written, and the rest will be forgiven. Ask not, it will not be given. Do as it was written, and the rest forgiven. You remember when Kennedy said, ask not what you are country to, but what you can do for the country? Well, we all know where that leads to, honey. Loss of limbs, loss of life, lack of integrity, and lack of support, lack of being proper housing. How many veterans are homeless? How many veterans can't have a food and eat, and how much is just like scattered all over the place? Yes, only 1% joined the army, but it's one homeless percent, one desperate, high-risk percent that is rejected from common mainstream society. So I'm giving you this now, black people. As I said, let Colin Powell and Barack Obama and the rest of them and Leggett be the last of the house niggers. Because America is built on freedom. Remember that all the best congressmen and most of the high-powered Bushes and so forth and etc., they were draft dodgers. No more do you have to look at military service as something that you need to do because of proudness and loyalty. Let the pride come from your constitution. Do something else. Find an alternative. Let it not be that these people structure society have to draw you in to stand up in uniform and say, you are proud. Yes, it's a proud thing to serve, but darling, you can be just as proud in your service somewhere else. Remember, in war, these people make twice as much as money that you do, while your children come home with loss of limbs, without lack of social and emotional service, and proper attention, and proper reintegration and stabilization back in society. So what is it that you want to contribute? Well, how much more of your grandchildren's blood and limb that you want to give these people that say thank you while they drink scotch and whiskey and your children are on the street? I am the living pendant of love. I see myself as the poster person of integrity, honesty, and just living. I never used insecurity to judge all those patients when I served in the army that's called you all different kind of names and said you are MS this and whatever they want to call you. They felt like it, niggers, whatever it is. And those same white supervisors, majors, they look at you and say, you just have to deal with it. Just as racist as the rest of them. They didn't give a shit, and they still don't give a shit. This is how they belittle. Racism is so institutionalized. And I feel like the military is one of the biggest places. A whole lot of bluff and fluff and no substance. A lot of insecurity. Only security they have in there's a procedure which, darling, some of them are so shell-shocked they probably can't even read it themselves. But I'm giving you this alternative. These maligned idiots, you no longer have to put on a uniform and say, yes, my grandfather. Your grandfather had to do it because he wanted to feel a part of and still rejected. Well, let's reject that idea now. Let's start to serve the Constitution to its might and the Statue of Liberty. Because we do not know what these military fools represent. And we do not know their ideology. And they do not represent us to the commonality. They don't have the common sense to breathe good, decent standard and what living ought to be. In their little moronic, warlike world, it's agreed. But in civil society, there's no commonality. That's why they all group together, lump together. And they find that sometimes in the insecurities of law enforcement and so forth. Criminals can hide criminals. Status criminal hides status criminals, and that's it. But anyway, as I said, I wanted to support you. I want to support young people, to support liberty, to support freedom. Don't idealize this military fluff, drop garb, army bullshit and bullcrap. Find your standard and define yourself, or it will turn you into a complete moron, an athletic moron, or some other kind of moron, a kiss-ass moron. Yes, massa. Well, we're out of that now. This is liberation century. Liberate yourself, young. Poverty do not mean that you live in the ghetto. It's your mentality. So let's get up. I wrote something else today. Love I all for long. And for long. And the person I love left me. For I serve like a fool to the loyal fold who rule. The flag fallen I. Fallen I, and I put my eye in love. I loyal to I in I, Ra and I, God in I. This is MEZA GRANDDUCHESS, RASMASKONEN. Have a good evening. 3706 Manor Road, 240-274-0156. Disgust and distress, yes I do. But then it brings us to a point of realization of who they really are. It takes an intelligent person, someone who can stand up, as I said, always stand up and say this is what it is and indict them for the people who they are. And for them, there is no justification. They're just big, odious buffaloes, the white elephant of our time. Leave it and let's find alternatives. Set yourself free.